And this body is not Erasmus Commission. It's the Judicial Service Commission. There's no Erasmus who's going to take a decision here alone. So whether he's got a preferred candidate or not, this body must still take a final decision as to who's going to be.
And futuristically, how do you hope to improve on the communication with your colleagues? I wouldn't want to assume that you are too busy to send a 3-line email to your colleagues and just informing them about the unopposed motion role for the following term. And then you attach it and it goes.
Yes. That is exactly, thank you,
Could I also
Commissioner.
just follow up, Chief Justice?
Yes.
Because it's also on this paragraph 6.12.
All right.
Yes, there's another problem, AJP, which is not just communication, because I understand your point to be, if it's formal communication, there's no problem. It can be sent by anyone attaching a role, etc. Now, I understand that fully. I don't have a problem with it. But it looks like it's more than formal communication. It's actually a substantive judicial work that is being conveyed through the secretary. I think that's really the concern. So the example that is made here at 6.11 is that your secretary has taken files to Judge Ali. And then Judge Ali says to her, no, I already have a file. And then she says to her, well, why don't you do this one virtually? And she does so without even discussing with you. So I think it goes beyond, this is just formal communication, into its substantive judicial instructions that are conveyed through the secretary. So the secretary's role is elevated, which is perceived to be offensive by your colleagues. That's really the heart of what you must respond to.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioners, that specific incident that is referred to, my registrar does not give the judges any instructions. My registrar, because we have a shortage of ushers, so my registrar doubles up as an usher. Remember, there are 33 judges and only 16 ushers in the building. And if the criminal trials run, then the ushers are occupied in the criminal courts, and then we don't have ushers to deliver files. Commissioners, that specific incident that is referred to was not any instruction given to any judge. It was just the delivery of a file. And when I saw that comment, I questioned my registrar about it, because my registrar is quite experienced and she's very, she understands protocol very well. She was nothing more than an usher on that specific day. And it happened to be on a Friday when that happened. Opposed motions, allocations were made the Friday for the Monday. And Judge Ali received the file from my registrar. My registrar never gives instructions to any judges. That was pure and simple ushering duties. My registrar has no interest whether a judge does a case virtually or in court. And my registrar personally had no knowledge of doing that, because she multitasks as my registrar, thank you, and as an usher. It was purely ushering duties. With regard to the signing of correspondence, I can understand that someone may have an issue, but if she signs it, it's formal, it's a roll that's being circulated, or it's the reserve judgment roll that gets circulated, the registrar signs that. Some correspondence would be from me, whether I circulate the information for comment, that can also come from me, or it will say AJP with her name as my secretary at the bottom, but it will clearly say it comes from me. Formal correspondence can come directly from my secretary, but I'd like to reassure the Commission that I do put AJP under correspondence that I have dictated personally to the judges.
There's
Yes.
still more follow-up questions, AJP. Commissioner Pillay?
Thank you, Chief.
No, there are two follow-up questions before you, Commissioner Malema. I've noted you.
Thank you, Chief Justice. Good morning, AJP Goliath. I just wanted to follow up on the answer to the question posed by Commissioner Mokay-Toby. around the specific incident referred to by Judge Ali in her document. The one relating to the allocation of files and then a
Yes.
comment made by your,
Yes.
by your secretary. Did I understand your answer to be that that's an untruth by Judge Ali?
I have raised it with my secretary, but the secretary indicated to me that she was merely delivering the file because, look, that was the instruction. She acts as an usher. And the secretary indicated that she did not instruct the judge how to hear the matter. Commissioner, the secretaries cannot dictate to a judge how to hear a matter. So obviously my secretary indicated that that was not what she had said. The file was marked and she acted as an usher, and it happens on a daily basis that
So-
my secretary delivers files to judges.
AJP, the thrust of my question is what you're saying to the commission that Judge Ali, in her comment to the commission, included a fabrication or an untruth?
I'm saying to the commissioner that I addressed that issue with my registrar, and she indicated to me that she did not indicate to the judge how to hear a matter. She was merely performing duties of an usher.
And did you have a similar discussion with Judge Ali?
No, I did not have that discussion with Judge Ali. I just instructed my registrar and indicated to her that it may be best that we rather just wait for an usher to deliver it, because it was taken, this incident had happened. Commissioners, my secretary is there for many years and she knows protocols.
Judge,
She will not instruct a judge.
AJP, I'm
Yes.
sorry to interrupt you. I really don't want to have a discussion about
Yes.
your secretary. I'm more concerned about what you're saying about one of the judges in your division. That's my concern. And can I just finish my question
Yes.
before you answer? You see, it ties into what something you said much earlier in your exchange with the CJ. You urged us, in your words, to treat Judge Ali's comments with caution. Now, that's a very serious thing to ask the JSC to do, in particular when you're talking about a sitting judge. Now, you also, in your written responses, tie that in to Judge Ali's membership of Nadal, which is even more concerning. Now, can I ask you to please address that question? Firstly, how it is that you can ask this body to treat the comments by a sitting judge with caution? And secondly, how it is that you tie that into her membership of Nadal?
Commissioners, I have given an indication that Judge Ali and I, we were together, we were candidates for the position of Deputy Judge President. And since my appointment, it is so that Judge Ali did not communicate with me at all. It is so that at that stage, Nadal did mobilize support for Judge Ali, and she wasn't appointed. So from that vantage point, although Judge Ali stated in her submissions that she is raising this because she's got nothing to lose and she's due to retire, etc., I had a concern about the fact that it appeared as if the fact that we were up against one another, that it may have impacted negatively on our relationship, and that Judge Ali, she raised certain issues, concerns that I felt I could explain adequately to the JSC in terms of the manner in which I run the office. But my main concern was, why did Judge Ali not address it directly with me? That was my concern, because Judge Ali chose to use this platform, and that was where the caution request came in, because it was something she could have raised easily with me, to take a walk up to my office, and we could have resolved any of her concerns. And that it's in that context that I asked the Commission to just be cautious, because why didn't someone do the obvious? But I understand the concern raised with regard to the fact that now need to decide, am I believing what my registrar says and Judge Ali says? Obviously, if I can just conclude the earlier point, I must believe what the judge says. If a judge says something happened, I must believe the judge. And I did raise it with my registrar, and my registrar said, but Judge, I was just performing ushering duties.
You mentioned that, AJP.
Yes.
And can you please address the insinuation that Nadal is using Judge Ali as an instrument against you?
Commissioners, look, Nadal issued a media statement in May where they requested individuals and organizations to collaborate with them to support a candidate. And that happened. That is the reality of the matter. Judge Ali is affiliated to Nadal. They nominated her at the time. Nadal did seek collaboration from stakeholders and from individuals. It was a public document, and I didn't, for me it was unambiguous to the extent that Nadal was seeking collaboration. And Judge Ali was a long-standing member of Nadal, and Nadal did nominate her for the position of DJP in that round when I was successful. I'm not saying that Nadal is using Judge Ali for a specific purpose. I'm saying Nadal publicly did invite people to support their cause and to collaborate with them. And just the mere fact of Judge Ali's connection with Nadal, it's not an arm's length person who had no ties with Nadal at all. After all, they did nominate her. For me, it's just a factual situation. The invitation went out, and that is the ultimate strategy that Nadal called for, and people did, and they invited people to come in. Judge Ali has never been to my chamber since I was appointed as the DJP, so I would imagine that there could be a little bit of, there could be issues that she may have since my appointment in 2016.
What happened when you applied both for the DJP?
No?
In fact, you've asked that one of the other commissioners recuse himself because of
Yes.
his membership or his affiliation
Yes,
with
I
Nadal,
did.
because a competitor
Yeah,
to this role
yeah.
is, I suppose, affiliated with Nadal, or is their chosen or supported candidate.
Yes, yes.
It's not about what happened in the past and
Yes,
Judge Ali has an axe to grind because she was unsuccessful. The insinuation is that you are using her, or they used her, to ensure that their preferred candidate in this process gets the nod and you don't, which is essentially accusing Judge Ali of being part of a conspiracy along with fellow commissioners. That is a very serious accusation, and it's not to do with grudges in the past. You are accusing people of essentially something that verges on criminality.
CJ, may I please
Yes.
follow up on that with your permission?
Yes, Commissioner Baloyi.
Yes. While you deal with that, AJP Goliath, could you please also deal, and in similar vein, we've had an issue where you've expressed concern about the ability to remain unbiased and neutral of a senior judge of your court that was supposed to sit here, who participated in the shortlisting, and you demanded, rather, in fact, you instructed that he recuse himself, you recused him, and you appointed somebody else to come and stand in your place as your designate. Now, the reason you gave for that is exactly the same as the basis on which you were seeking the one commissioner's recusal. It is because of their familiarity to your competitor, and so you do not trust that the judge will fairly, openly, and objectively exercise their duties and discharge their responsibility in evaluating you fairly. So could you please, while you respond to the Nadal issue, deal with that as well?
Commissioner, Judge Ali mentioned in her submissions that she has no agendas. She mentioned that herself. And when I saw that, I thought, "What? Why is Judge Ali saying this? It's not necessary to say this if you don't have an agenda." And the connection with Judge Ali, the fact is that Nadal, she is a member of Nadal, and they did nominate her previously. I am not saying that
She was.
Judge Ali,
She can't be a member of
yeah, she
Nadal
was.
whilst the judge, yeah.
Yeah, she was, just like I was. I was also a
Me
member
too,
of Nadal.
and many of us.
Yes, many of
on
us.
the bench. Mm.
Judge Ali triggered this concern by me because she said herself, "I don't have ulterior motives. I've got nothing to lose." That's what she said herself. And I looked at it and I thought, but why is she saying this if it's all above board? She triggered that concern by me. And the Nadal sent a circular around and made it clear that they support a certain candidate. There's no problem with that. The only problem I had with the circular was the fact that it created the impression that the Western Cape division was in disarray. And I felt that that was not the correct statement to make. If that was not in the statement, I would not have had any concerns. The fact, because that is not the correct statement. It was not about supporting another candidate, whatever. The division is not in disarray. And I can assure the commissioners of that. I just need to respond to if anyone...
No, I need to make a follow-up,
Yes,
CJ.
yeah, sure.
There still is another follow-up before you, Commissioner Malema, on this
Yeah.
very issue from President Mulemela. Or had you finished, Commissioner Pillay, because we kept interjecting?
Chief Justice, there's just so much to deal with. I'll keep
All
my-
right, thank you.
my question.
And you satisfied, Mr. Boshoff?
Yes, thank you, Chief.
All right.
The concurrence of the judges since that resolution still stands.
Thank you, AJP. But before you get to the second part of Mr. Boshoff's
Yes.
question concerning the SCA's comments
Yes.
on your judgment, I just want to remind Commissioner Malema and the other commissioners that this is a critical leadership position in a notoriously troubled division of the High Court in this country. So I cannot stop commissioners from asking questions about concerns relating to serious matters that they may have. So if we have to take longer with a candidate, then that's just what we must do, so that at the end of the day, we know that we have chosen the right person to lead that court. So that's why we're taking so long, Commissioner Malema. Back to you, AJP. Are you
Yes.
ready to?
No, my follow-up.
Yes.
Oh, you had a follow-up?
Yes.
I thought you just wanted to remind
No,
me
no,
about
no,
the
no.
time.
This is why.
Ask you follow-up then, Commissioner Malema.
No, I want to just make a follow-up on 2 points quickly, AJP. The Advocate Baloy, Commissioner Baloy, raised an issue with you about how your secretary responded to a judge. And you said, that is not the right way to communicate, but she was angry or
Yes.
upset that they accused her of whatever they did. Before Commissioner Baloy put that to you, as a leader of the court who read what she said in response to Judge Ali, did you take it upon yourself to say, but you cannot address a judge like this to your secretary? Did you say that to her?
I did not say that to her, and I think I should probably have done better in that regard. But she indicated that she wanted to make her own statement. But I think I should have done better to intervene there.
And you see that is lack of judgment from a leader, because a good leader would have picked that up and immediately deal with it. Do you accept that that is lack of judgment from leadership position?
I should definitely have asked her to tone down her response, Commissioner. Yes.
So, AJP, you were not in the meeting where it is alleged she was instructing a judge to conduct the matter in a particular way. And Judge Ali makes that allegation, and she denies that. And then you come to justify before us that she's senior, she will not have made such a mistake, she knows how the things work, and that we should, without you saying it, but by how you saying it, we should believe her over your colleague, over a judge, and you have not spoken to that judge. You have just spoken to one person, who's your secretary, did not speak to the judge to verify the facts and whatever the situation might be. But your justification here is that, no, she's so senior, so experienced, she will not make such a mistake. She will never give a judge an instruction when a judge says, I was given an instruction. And we must believe her over a judge of your court, AJP.
Commissioner, the fact of the matter is that it is a problem for me to say, don't believe the judge. I'm not saying that here today. I am saying that my registrar is used to delivering files and playing the role of an usher since I'm a DGP since 2016 already. And she is alive to the fact that it is just a delivery. And if that had happened, it is unfortunate, and I cannot say today, believe my registrar, Commissioner. I can't say that. I must accept what the judge says. I just try to impress upon the Commission that the delivery of files is within the normal course of my registrar's duty. And that's the sole purpose, is just delivery of a file, not to engage judges on the matter. And quite frankly, it gets placed in a basket. Let me just clarify that to the commissioners. It doesn't, you don't knock on the door of the chambers, it gets placed in a tray by the judges' chambers. Yeah, that is how deliveries are made. The usher will do that, place it in the in tray, and then there's the out tray. The usher will collect the files. So the delivery of the file, she wasn't sent as a messenger to the judge concerned. She was merely sent to place it in the tray, in the in tray. That is all.
Sorry, Chief Justice.
Yes.
Sorry, can I?
All right.
There are other, we still have other follow-up questions. Sorry, questions, Mr. Julius. Before you move on,
Yes.
AGP, I just want to understand why Judge Erasmus's close connection with any of the candidates would have bothered you, because you've been a judge long enough. We all know that since the beginning of time, since this body started operating, commissioners, including the chairperson on occasion, have declared openly that they have a relationship with one of the candidates, and it's never been an issue. I recall an example where former Chief Justice Mogoeng interviewed his close friend,
Yeah.
former Chief Justice Zondo, and he made that declaration openly before the interview started, and it was not an issue, and a fair result was achieved.
Yes.
I'd like to think. So why were you particularly bothered by Judge Erasmus's involvement in these proceedings?
Yeah, Chief Justice, look, I'm 34 years in the profession, and yes, I was concerned about that. It may not be, based on what you have informed me now, it may not have been the correct approach not to designate him, but at that stage, after the shortlisting, I had a choice as to who I would like to designate. And the Chief Justice Zondo designated him to do the shortlisting. And I exercised my discretion in terms of who I wanted to designate to represent the division. Yes, it was a concern, and I've heard what the Chief Justice had said. I just felt uncomfortable with the fact that one of the candidates was very close to him, and I've noted what the Chief Justice said. But the Commission must remember that was I, and I'm trying to understand this, is the suggestion that because the Chief Justice designated one judge that I had to stick to that judge? Because if that is the case, then I understand what the concern is about, but I thought I was just exercising my constitutional right to take someone who's not connected to anyone and who's due to retire and who can sit here objectively and represent the division.
Quick
No,
one,
Yeah.
CJ.
what
CJ.
was odd, Commissioner Malema, there are other follow-up questions before.
I wanted to follow what you just asked earlier.
Okay.
I wanted to ask, are you aware of the incident that the CJ is talking about? As a judge, you have been on the bench for quite some time. You will be familiar with what she spoke about. And when you had those concerns would have now been put at ease by that experience,
Yes.
which we are speaking about. AJP, you're not going to give us the second reason because you build reason as you go. Your initial and your honest reason is that Erasmus is a friend with a candidate. Not that I was exercising my rights.
Yes.
The rights is something that you are now trying to put here now, after giving us an unacceptable explanation. So, do you realize that you were wrong to remove him on the basis of the friendship with another candidate? Because that has never affected this body, and this body is not Erasmus Commission. It's the Judicial Service Commission. There's no Erasmus who's going to take a decision here alone. So whether he's got a preferred candidate or not, this body must still take a final decision as to who's going to be. Do you accept you were wrong by taking such a decision on a fellow judge and say on the basis of a friendship, this judge will never be objective and will not judge me or score me fairly? Do you think you were right by removing a fellow judge on the basis that is a friend with a candidate? Do you accept you're wrong?
I accept that, having listened to what the Chief Justice says, that you can interview a friend, an example made. The fact of the matter is that I have never designated Judge Erasmus in the first place. The Chief Justice designated him. And I was of the view that I could exercise my right to designate an alternate. And I'm hearing what the Honourable Commissioner has said. What the Honourable Commissioner is saying, that I should have retained the person who had done the shortlisting. I should have retained that person there. My concern was, am I entitled to appoint a designate or not? Because I was not involved in designating anyone for shortlisting. And I suppose it is desirable to keep the person in, but is it wrong for me to exercise my right to designate an alternate that has no connection with any of the candidates? I thought that I was designating someone that I was satisfied is not connected. I've heard the sentiments that the fact that Erasmus was closely connected to one of the candidates did not justify me not designating him. I heard that statement. And at the time, I just felt that I didn't want him to feel compromised by sitting in on proceedings where one of his close friends were.